Hi everyone, my name is Sam. Thanks for coming to my talk. This is titled Early Life Adversity Affects Sociality and Interaction Style in Wild Female Olive Baboons. So there's a growing body of evidence that sociability enhances individual fitness in a wide range of species. These effects have been well studied in savanna baboons. So in yellow and chacma baboons, sociability is a strong predictor of female fitness. Females with stronger bonds or greater social connectedness live longer and have infants that are more likely to survive. So these fitness effects have prompted interest in understanding and identifying factors that contribute to individual variation in sociability. Now, in yellow and chacma baboons, both early life experiences and interaction styles contribute to individual sociability. In the embosel yellow baboons, females with more early life adversity are less socially connected later in life. And in the Maremi chacma baboons, an analysis generated 3 personality dimensions or 3 interaction styles. These were nice, loner, and aloof. And females who scored higher on the nice factor and lower on the loner factor had stronger social bonds. Based on this previous work, we evaluate the links between early life adversity, interaction styles, and female sociality in olive baboons. We hypothesize that early life adversity influences females' interaction styles, and this in turn influences their ability to form strong social bonds. So to examine this hypothesis, we studied wild olive baboons that had been monitored by Dr. Shirley Strum and the Waso Neuro Baboon Project. To monitor sociality and interaction styles, we conducted 15-minute focal follows on 31 subadult and adult females. These baboons were from 3 social troops, and we collected data over a 4-year period. We utilized the project's historical database to measure early life adversity for these females. We included 5 sources of adversity, so biomass at birth, group size at birth, early maternal loss, experienced interbirth interval, and whether a female was a firstborn or not. We normalized these variables and summed them all together to create a cumulative adversity index, similar to the one produced by the Amboseli research group. So to measure overall sociality, we created a composite sociality index, or CSI. This incorporates 2 forms of affiliation, grooming initiations, and approaches to within 1 meter. And this index uses the relative frequencies of these behaviors, and it's limited to interactions among subadult and adult females. We computed a joint index incorporating both interactions initiated and received by the focal female, but then we also computed separate indices for interactions initiated by the focal female and interactions received by the focal female. Higher CSI values indicate more social interactions. We measured a benign interaction style using information on vocal grunts. So grunts function as signals of benign intent, and baboons produce grunts to sort of negotiate social interactions. So we examined contexts in which a focal female approached another female, specifically when she approached an unrelated, lower-ranking female without a young infant present. And the measure of interest in this context is, did the female grunt or remain silent as she approached? So we exclude contexts when there's a young infant present because females use grunts to gain access to infants. And we exclude approaches to higher ranking females because lower ranking females will often grunt as they're approaching high ranking females to avoid aggression. We further limit the analysis to non-kin because females are just less likely to grunt as they approach close kin. So this analysis looks at the tendency to produce grunts in contexts when the grunt doesn't produce immediate benefits to the actor, but instead functions to provide reassurance that the focal female has benign intentions. Okay, so let me first explain this plot here. So CSI, or female sociality, is on the y-axis and early life adversity is on the x-axis. The panels show the different measures of CSI. So the left panel is examining joint CSI. This is the standard index. The middle panel only considers social behaviors received by the focal female, and the panel on the right examines behaviors initiated by the focal female. So across all of these CSI measures, we see that females who experienced more early life adversity were less socially connected. And this replicates findings from yellow baboons. But if you compare sociality received and initiated, you can see the effect is stronger for behaviors received. And so this indicates that the link between a female's early adversity and sociality might be more strongly driven by how others behave towards her. Next, we test the relationship between early life adversity and interaction style. So early life adversity is again on the x-axis, and the the y-axis here shows the probability of grunting while approaching unrelated, lower-ranking females without infants. So in other words, a higher value on the y-axis indicates a more benign interaction style. And this plot shows that females with more early life adversity were less likely to have a benign interaction style. So now that this is established, we can see if interaction style is associated with overall sociality. So CSI is on the y-axis again, just like before. The standard joint CSI index is on the far left, behaviors received are in the middle, and behaviors initiated are on the right. And the x-axis shows the probability of grunting. So higher values on the x-axis indicate a more benign interaction style. Okay, so we see that females with more benign interaction styles were more socially connected, but this effect was only observed for sociality received and not for sociality initiated. This indicates the overall effective interaction style on female sociality here is driven by how others behaved towards the focal. So females who had a more benign interaction style were more likely to be approached and groomed by others, but they were not more likely to initiate these interactions. And this is pretty similar to results found in the Maremi chocolate baboons. Okay, so let's revisit this diagram. We just saw that females who experienced more early life adversity received fewer social interactions. More early life adversity was associated with developing a less benign interaction style, and females with less benign interaction styles received fewer social interactions. We ran multiple regressions with and without interaction style, and we found that including interaction style reduced the effect of early life adversity on sociality slightly, but it did not eliminate this relationship. So this suggests that interaction style might partially mediate the association between early life adversity and sociality. So one might predict that early life adversity influences female condition and ability to allocate time and energy towards socializing. And if this were the case, we would expect early adversity to have a stronger effect on sociality initiated rather than sociality received. But this wasn't the case. Early life adversity seemed to make females less attractive social partners, possibly due to their tendency to have less benign interaction styles. In another study on this population, we found that infants who developed in harsher maternal conditions spent less time playing socially and were less behaviorally independent. So if females who were exposed to early life adversity were unable to prioritize developing social skills during sensitive windows of early life, then this might explain why their social behaviors are seemingly disadvantageous in adulthood. Future work is needed to explore the mechanisms that underlie the associations between early life experiences, developmental trajectories, and adult behavior. I'd like to thank our collaborators and funding sources, and thanks everyone for watching.